Alrighty, we're live. Happy Friday. Once again, it's absolutely a pleasure to be here on Friday and to spend some time with all of you and deliver some information about generational cycles. Let me just mute my phone. Hello, Lou. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining. All right. Once again, happy Friday. It's my pleasure to be here today and talk about generational cycles again, and this time where I'm planning to address for the whole month of January different aspects of money blocks coming from the generational cycle. I have seen throughout the years that this is the time that for some reason the money blocks and the money problems surface up. Maybe it's because after the holidays, or it's just landing consistently on January. But here we go again, addressing the money blocks and all the limiting beliefs that actually comes with it, that cause actually the money blocks. And all of this is, of course, related to the generational cycles. Let me just introduce myself. I'm Diana Oskov, for those of you who are new. I'm a rapid transformational therapist, a clinical hypnotherapist, and a life coach. I specialize in generational cycles, and I help people to overcome those limiting beliefs, the exhaustion of living from the survival mode, and finding the stuck feelings and emotions in their body, releasing them, and allowing themselves to be better examples for the future generations by stopping the generational cycles and patterns that we repeat in our lives. I myself, I'm very proud that I am the generational cycle breaker in my family. It doesn't come easy, but at the same time, it's absolutely fulfilling, and the way of living all of a sudden become lighter and more fulfilled with a lot more abundance and availability of pretty much everything you wish. Hi, Annie. Good to have you here all the way from Australia. Nice. I love seeing people from all over the world. I'm originally from Bulgaria, and I grew up there. I moved to the States later on. I have been here in Seattle for 23 years now, and I absolutely enjoy it. I love traveling, and I like to work with people from all over the world just because it's an incredible opportunity of learning and growth, just meeting different cultures and trying to understand the cultural norms, meeting making new friends, tasting new kitchens. All of this is just simply amazing, and it's very close to my heart. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to have you here again. Hello, everyone. All right, we're talking about money blocks, where money blocks come and how they're related to the generational cycles. So here we have to step back. When your ancestors survived the depression, the war, or the poverty, phrases like money doesn't grow on tree or there's never enough easily become embedded in your nervous system. And those phrases create a chronic anxiety, even when you are just objectively secure. It has nothing to do with that. So those patterns comes from your generational cycles, and they show up as obsessive savings without purpose, inability to spend on self-care, or automatically surfacing this thought of we can afford that. All those responsibilities comes before actually checking with your actual status of your financial status at the moment. It's nothing to do with where you are with your money. So it's going deep, back to the roots. But at the end of the day, this is all about the generational cycles and how those patterns are cycling in our life. The scarcity mindset, the specific topic that I'm focusing on today, it creates this self-fulfillment, where you're busy protecting yourself against those imagined lack of not enough money, or disconnect with the reality, or what exactly the abundance for yourself means. Often this abundance is very, very limited, becoming surfacing from those thoughts. So many people feel guilty spending on anything non-essential, or just believing that you must earn enough to have the right to enjoy spending some money, rather than simply just being worthy of taking care of yourself. And today, I really want to focus on explaining how the fear of not having enough, it keeps you in this loop of experiences that are surfacing very often. And I also want to talk about how to break free from those patterns, and how to really enjoy life, and how to have, more than anything, healthy relationship with money, feel safe, and feel enough. So let me know what kind of phrases you have heard growing up in your family about when it comes to money. Because throughout the years, I have seen a lot of different people when it comes to money blogs, and I have heard a lot of different um, phrases when it comes to money blogs. I grew up with the money don't grow on tree, and you have to work hard in order to have money. So I'm very curious to hear what you have grown up with. Uh, so it's important to be aware of those thoughts, those phrases that we grow up with. Once we have the knowledge, the understanding to see them, then it's much easier to connect them with our current situation. Because the difference between healthy relationship and the anxiety that is driven from holding yourself back when it comes to money, it's simply that just understanding where all of this is coming from and how it's passed down from generation to generation. Elizabeth say, I just learned never to ask for anything. Yeah. Where did this come from? What was the phrase with that you get associated with this, Elizabeth? And also understanding the foundation patterns when it comes to money. It's important because it gives us the opportunity um, to see what is the underlying issue with when it comes to money blocks, and what is the encountering part for you, for yourself. When you cannot trust the basic abundance, it's very hard to become a survival and treat yourself with limitations and without growing opportunities. Then we kind of close ourselves in our shells, and we stay there without actually exploring that there's this other world out there, and it's available to us as well. So it's all, once again, coming back from our ancestors and the generations passed down. So we are the detectives that have to go back and figure out what are the phrases that are limiting us, that are staying with us, and choose those phrases to be left in the past. Choose new patterns that we allow to bring into our life, and those new patterns to be the one that really truly allow us to thrive further down and actually make us successful. Today, again, together with the talk, I'm have been called to a very beautiful visualization that it comes with our topic today. So stay tuned for the second part where we're gonna do this beautiful visualization as well. For those of you who are in different time zones or really enjoy the talk and also the meditation, all of this will be available on my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and um, watch the replay from there or use the meditation as many times as you want, because this is not one-time work. You have to come back to this and dig in and very much be archaeologists that is really invested to solve the problem and to find out where all of this is coming from. And at one point it becomes very interesting, because at the end of the day, this is your own life and you hold the responsibility. You're the architect who is building everything that is in front of you, and it's all in your hands. That's the beauty of it. Noni say, women in my culture had no financial freedom to access. We had to turn all of our money over to the religion leaders, and women and children had to no part in it. It was just understood. Yes, and you're not alone. There are a lot of different cultures and cults and whatnot that live in the same structure and limit, especially women's, when it comes to money. For some reason, I had limited myself. Growing up, I grew up in a communist regime, and the situation was very, very different from what I'm living right now. But when it comes to money, my biggest issue was when the communist regime collapsed. Um, the, the entire life switched pretty much overnight. And I remember very, very, very vividly one of my personal struggles was that the stores become empty overnight. And I'm talking like empty, like nothing inside. Um, so they had to close the stores and open just the front door and sell bread and milk, like simply basic stuff with coupons. So at that point, I the hold that I had in my head, my limiting belief was the money or no doesn't matter. They have no power, because no matter how much money you had at that point, there was nothing available at the store that you can actually go and buy. And even the basic bread, if you want to buy bread, you have to have a coupon, not the money. So in my mind, I had this belief that money are nothing. Money are just not important. The second part that I had attached to that belief, it kind of re-established the belief, give it even more power, is later on when the democracy came in. My parents were extremely successful, and all of a sudden, one night, the banks collapsed and all the money were gone. I have never seen my parents in such difficult situations that they cannot hold themselves upright. Just imagine having successful life and then all of a sudden you wake up and everything is gone. And at that point, they both were are very strong people. My dad passed away. It's going to be 6 years ago next month. My mom is still alive. They were both very self-driven and very determined to succeed people. So I don't know how they managed to get up on their feet and keep on going. But one thing that I vividly can hear my dad saying in my ears, it's, yes, we lost everything, but we are all here and we're all together and we're all healthy. And that's the most important part. From that phrase, what stays with me is we're all here. So, number one, humans are more important than money. Relationship is more important than money. And then the money is something temporary. So this belief stay with me for a very, very long time. And just like what Noni is saying, I I separated myself from the money, not because of my culture, but in a way I relate to you, just because I decided to be separated from the money until I found the RTT and I start working, and I figure out that those money beliefs, they're not actually mine. They're something that this silly kid invented in order to just cope, for a coping mechanism at that moment, that time. And I don't need them in my life today. So resolving those issues in a very deep subconscious level allow me to have interest and to be invested in the money topic, to be asking questions and to work in the family budget and figuring out how we can work and what we can do and how we can work with our money in order to succeed in the future. So this is when my interest of money kind of woke up and start driving forward. And right now we're completely moving together with my husband and working on the money situations, because it's important. Money is, it's a heavy topic and we often leave it to the male part, but women are equally important to be part of it. And sometimes when the two ideas combine, something beautiful is born. So if you're struggling with money, stay tuned. We'll have this visualization today that is, it's magical. It's going to give you the beginning steps of moving forward and working on those limiting beliefs, because it's important to have the understanding. Nobody teach money in school. That's the problem. And we have to figure it out on our own. But when with all of this come the luggage, that this heavy luggage from our ancestors, from generation passed down to generations, it's even harder to work it out. And many people were struggling with navigating money, with even the basic things, just because of those inherited um, phrases, beliefs that are preventing us from moving forward. All right, Elizabeth say, my dad died when I was 3 in an automobile accident. Sorry about that. And after that, for some reasons, it was not to ask for anything. I was only 3 at the time, so I grew up with that. Elizabeth, I'm curious, in your case, in this particular situation, you come up with the idea that you cannot ask for anything, or your dad told you that? And I'm asking because for myself, I had the same thing. I have 2 brothers, twins, and we were 3 kids. For that time, it was 3 kids. Back home in Bulgaria, it was a lot of too many kids. So I, seeing my parents working so hard, I come up with the idea that I'm not allowed to ask for anything in in that situation, because we are 3 kids, while my friends at school had a lot. And saying that, my parents gave us a lot. They worked very hard to provide to us. Sometimes, not sometimes, but most of the time, we had way too much, but we didn't have them. So they weren't there. They were not present. And looking back, I would rather have them than all those material stuff. So I do had material stuff, and I think I have plenty. But for some reason, I came up with this idea that I'm not allowed to ask for a certain thing. I'm not allowed, this particular situation is to ask for this pink shirt that I really, really wanted. And after I worked on my subconscious mind, 40 something years later, I went out and I bought myself a pink shirt just because this is what my inner child still wanted. And sometimes, not sometimes, every time, it's never too late to fulfill the dream. You just have to allow yourself to do so. All right. Money does not grow on tree. Yes, that's one of the most common phrases out there. And I have here a list of a few more from my practice that are very much related to the scarcity when it comes to money that I really would like to share with you. And you say, I call it the money program. I call it the money program. Yes, it is a money program. It runs it runs very deep in each deep within. And it's aged deep within. While I know it's a program with deep transcendences, my needs have always been met, but I find that time it spills back into lack of mindset. Yes and no. Yes, because it runs really deep. This is a very good example. The money topic is very good example how deep our limiting beliefs go, because this is something that we see, we have a life experience with it, and it's easier to understand. All the limiting beliefs goes very, very deep. When it comes to the money beliefs, we can understand it more better because it's everyday things that we need in our life. All those limiting beliefs are on subconscious level. And if you have simply the understanding, that's just the beginning of resolving the issue. You have to work on the subconscious level and upgrade that program from there. Because otherwise, no matter how much you understand, operating from your logical mind when it comes to feelings, in this case related to money, has zero power. Once the feelings from certain event hit, logic is disappearing, and you're operating entirely on money. So until I went back and actually updated my mindset and understood where this is coming from, and that this was coping mechanism to keep me running and safe back then, there was nothing I can do. But once I did that and installed the new script, then it was much easier to move forward and allow myself to be involved and have the interest to navigate money. Alrighty, let me catch up on the chat and then we can move forward. Elizabeth says again, my mother was very angry with my father, and I was told he was coming home to give me a birthday present, so I felt very guilty. My mother was very rigid and and never explained anything, and we never wanted to anger her, so we never asked for anything. Yeah, and she probably had a reason to be angry with something in her life, but this does not excuse her that she never actually explained all of this to you. And furthermore, putting that guilt on you, that he was coming home to bring you a birthday present, it's something that it's unforgivable. No parents should do this should do this to a kid. No matter how difficult is the situation that you're in as an adult, you should not put that weight on a kid that early on, because this stays with them forever. So Elizabeth, I really hope you have worked out those scenarios and you address those issues, because it's not you. At that situation, your mother, your caregiver should have known better, and they should have been acting as a adult, not acting as a um, um, the word just went out of my mind. It will come. It will come. So don't give up. Don't give up. Keep on working, and from here on, once you start to have the desire to figure out all of this, once you start your own detective work, it only gets better. It has a hard moments, but it gets better for sure. I was her servant for life. She is now thick acid. Yeah, it's. I feel really sorry when parents do this to their kids, and I'm not here to kind of um, prove her point, but at the same time is you have to go deeper into what you just see, because I'm sure she had the reasoning for that. She probably had a hard time in her life as well, and she probably was mistreated, and this is the only thing that she knew, so she keep on giving the same thing. And here is the reasoning why we're stopping those generational cycles. Just because you have been treated that way, it doesn't mean that you continue to treat your kids the same way. But in order to see that, to start this change, you have to see it first. You have to have the understanding to look for it and to try to be a better person. Jessica says, my mom was always venting to us about her financial struggle, and 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 I also always got yelled for leaving lights on or being in the shower too long. Even now, I'm trying to take relaxing shower. Even now, if I'm trying to take relaxing shower, I have that fear that I'm there too long and I have to rush. You will find today's meditation very, very useful, because this today, it's not you, Jessica. This today, it's not you. And when you're in the shower and you have this rush of feelings that you're taking too long, stop for a moment, acknowledge it. You know when it's coming. Acknowledge it and say, this is not me today. I'm a different person. I'm a grown up. I can take care of myself. This is the old version of me, the one that was that has to comply with all of those things in order to be here today. All right. I'm fine now. I'm professional. Yes, I know, Elizabeth. Good for you. Actually, an RNA hypnotherapist. I finally have freedom. Great. It's very, very nice um, when you grow up in situations like Elizabeth and you find the strength to collect yourself and move forward to a different route. Just see all this luggage, as I used to say. I used to like to use a lot luggage from coming from the generational cycles, and all of a sudden one day you decided, no, you're going to be different. You don't want to continue the same thing. You want something completely different for yourself. And the hardest thing is to allow yourself to move forward with something like this. Good for you. All right. I really want to share those phrases that I have heard, I'm hearing more and more in my practice. And then we can move to the visualizations that came up to me today and just enjoy that time as well. All right. So it's interesting. I kind of keep track on the phrases because it's fascinating how often they repeat and how often how in the way how different we are, but the same. Those phrases are repeating so often that it make us to be collectively one story. We're all having the one thing, the same thing dealing with. So the number one phrase that it's circling in my practice is money doesn't grow on tree. And this is extremely extremely used phrase that is actually preventing you from living your life in the way how you're supposed to be living, the way how nature sent you here to be living this life. Often is limiting of self-care, limiting of enjoyment of the life that is going around us, and many times is living in this scarcity, preventing you from investment in growing opportunity, or just creating heavy anxiety around the normal spending of money, and just allowing yourself to have a normal life. And often it's really blocking the abundance mindset that we really looking forward to it. Number two is we can't afford that. I'm sure many of you have heard that phrase as well. And it's this automatic rejection of anything that it's in front of us. And it's limiting us in a way that dreams and possibilities are never always available for everybody. It's pretty much like you have to be from uh, a certain person in order to be allowed to have that. Number three is save for rainy days. And I'm talking here about the extreme one, where people are saving for rainy days to the point that life is just running around and spending money, saving money, and not allowing yourself to enjoy the anything that is non-essential. You're just simply living in your shell while the life is just running away from you. Number four, we have always been poor. Even this phrase is very outdated to the point that it runs in a family that they're pretty well financially present, but at the same time this phrase have been attached to them and they keep believing on it to the point that they still live from this poor side. That is just our family. This is excuse that once again it's updated, it's outdated and need to be upgraded. There is never enough. This is selfish to want more when others have less. You can't compare yourself with others. You don't know what others have. What you see is not always what is behind the closed doors. So don't compare yourself with others. You never know what is behind the closed doors. You have to earn the right to spend and enjoy. Once again, scarcity mindset. And when the fear is present, the body is holding, and it's in this fight, flight, or freeze mode. For everyone, it's different. And it's preventing you of living. Never spend principles, only live on interest. And all of those are very extreme, but at the same time are the top 9 phrases that I'm hearing over and over in my practice, to the point that I wanted to share with you. And if you have grown up with those phrases, I want you to know that you're not broken, you're normal. It's just time to have the awareness that you need to install an upgrade in your mind in order to move forward. Alrighty, let's address the chat and then we can move to the visualization. I don't know if you missed my comment about Diana. Oh, sorry, Curtis, I'm going back. All right. Yes, apology, I have missed it, but we'll catch up. Thank you for being on top of it and letting me know. My nan has always told me that money doesn't make you happy, and she is right. But I really struggle to ask for money for my own freelance work. I like to help people out of compassion and support them. I find it hard to charge that change that link, that my time and effort is worth money for me to survive. I think it's because my endorsement issues from my parents. All right, great question. I work for a couple of years with a private group of Etsy sellers, absolutely creative people. It's just the creativity that somebody can have as a flow. It was mind blowing. At the same time, all of them, pretty much a huge percentage of them, has some kind of limiting belief when it comes to money. None of them could feel good enough to ask for what they deserve. And sometimes with creative people, one of the issue is, just because it comes easy to you, it doesn't mean that it comes easier to everybody. It doesn't mean that you cannot charge for what you do. It's completely the opposite. You have to value yourself. You have to value your skills. And you have to go back and see where in your life you have heard something that is preventing you to reward yourself, to be rewarded with what you deserve. I always like to compare asking for money, and also this is related also to those of us who are caregivers, like caring, like to care for others. You cannot just give without receive. It's very similar with the breathing. Do this exercise with me for a second. Entertain me and entertain yourself. Try to just breathe out. Just breathing out. Without breathing in. Just breathe out. Continue to breathe out. And continue to breathe out. You cannot do this for too long, right? Okay, so now let's switch. Let's breathe in and breathe in and breathe in without breathing out, just breathing in. Continue to breathe in. You can't do this, right? You can't just breathe in, or only out. You have to do both in order to exist, in order for this body to function. It's the same with money. You give and you receive. You receive and you give. It's exactly the same thing. So I will Curtis, I will suggest go back and see where this is coming from. And this meditation that it's coming, visualization, it's really visualization. It's exactly spot on for you and for many others of you that that will be able to go back and start the first steps in order to overcome those limiting beliefs. I really hope that that was helpful and it answered your questions. So I will invite you now to just sit back, relaxed, and allow yourself some time for the next 20 minutes to simply be present and guided by my voice. If you're driving, I will recommend that this is not for you, not the right time for you. You can go back to the replay on my YouTube channel and use this meditation from there, or simply come back in the next part, the next week when we're gonna continue this. And the meditation is gonna be different, but very, very close to this one. All right, so let's sit back, relax, and just take a moment to breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. And again, breathe in, and breathe out. Notice how your body is rising as you breathe in, and how it's pleasantly relaxing every muscle, every ligament when you breathe out. Just one more time. Breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. You may know that money is energy and it's available to you. As you're a good person with good heart and you're deserving a great energy. So today I invite you, as your body relaxing, to explore with me this visualization and become your own detective. Now your body is absolutely relaxed. Allow your breath to go back to its natural rhythm. I want to invite you to listen to your thoughts and hear your beliefs you have in your head about money. Allow those thoughts to surface. Allow those thoughts to entertain you and to talk to you. Remember, you are the detective today. Ask yourself where those thoughts and beliefs are coming from. Have you heard them from your parents, grandparents, relatives, maybe your teachers, or simply in the society? Are all of those thoughts and beliefs that you were exposed to as a child growing up? As you're exploring your thoughts and beliefs related to money in this visualization, you're able to look around and through those beliefs, and you're able to realize that your current blocks have nothing to do with money and success. They're simply and completely not yours. Listen to those thoughts. Listen to those beliefs. Remember them. I want you also to see that you had no choice as a kid but to absorb those beliefs when you were growing up, whatever that was, that there is never enough money or the success is only temporary, or that once something really good happens, it's just about to be taken away. Whatever the beliefs are that you had growing up are not your limiting beliefs, but they're limiting you now. You can see now that they're not your beliefs. You can let those go so we can do more important work of eliminating your own self-limiting beliefs. Let's focus on visualizing what are the self-limiting beliefs that you're currently blocking from you being the successful or wealthy as you would like to be in general. Visualize it, be detective, listen carefully to your thoughts, to all of those thoughts running about money. Do you believe that work people aren't supposed to have a lot of money, or that you shouldn't strive to succeed just because that's ego-based belief? Or maybe you believe that what you're doing is such a gift that it doesn't feel right to charge for it. Or you believe that charging what you deserve is wrong. And maybe that isn't an issue by itself, not knowing what you're worthy, not believing in your worth enough. not believing that you're good enough or just being enough, or have this belief that success is for other people, but it's not meant for you, not available to you. Whatever your particular blocks are, we're going to eliminate them now. So now I want you to think about the limiting beliefs that you're raised, and those that are stuck in with you. And I want you to know that you're not that little kid anymore. And you're not that teenager anymore. And I invite you to say out loud to yourself, that's not me. I don't live in that environment anymore. I'm a fully grown adult now. And I make my own choices and my own decisions. And only I get to choose what thoughts to think and what beliefs to believe in. I am the architect of my life. I am the creator of my life. And I'm choosing my thoughts. I'm choosing my beliefs. As you know, money is energy. And I want to ensure you that that energy is available to you. You're a good person with a good heart, and you're deserving that great energy. Open up your heart and invite that energy in your life. Use that awareness you gain from today's detective work and invite the money energy into your life. This unique position also allows you to be the architect and the creator of your own future, of your own success. Tossing out or setting aside any old thoughts and beliefs that no longer are serving you. Use that understanding you gain today as a stepping stone to move forward, to increase the money energy, and to feel the flow of abundance. You're not only deserving that money energy in your life, but you're also absolutely entitled to accept that it's available to you, just as the air is available to you to breathe. Today, becoming your own detective and exploring your thoughts, having this awareness of what your thoughts are, the beliefs that you grow up with, and that limit you. That understanding, that awareness, it's a great foundation to start even deeper work on overcoming, updating, and rewriting those beliefs. Remember, you are the architect and the creator of your life, and you're the one making the decisions for yourself now. So, knowing this, feeling this, believing and achieving all of this, and so much more, you can now begin slowly to return to the room where you are, feeling amazing, feeling extraordinary, and unlimited, feeling successful and unstoppable. Whenever you're ready, you can take a deep breath and open up your eyes, stretch your arms and legs, and be ready to receive. Being fully aware and ready to receive every single day. And if it's evening for you, after this life is finished, whenever you go to bed, you easily drift to your utmost effortlessly, easily and effortlessly drift into sleep. And you're going to dream the most healing, liberating dreams, recharging all old thoughts, limiting beliefs when it comes to money. But right now, you're becoming fully present in a way. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Take a moment and write down those beliefs that you can that are running in your mind, those thoughts when it comes to money. And revisit them. Remember, this is your starting point. The detective work is just at the beginning of its work. Let me know if you came up with a different phrase or something that you have forgotten or something that we haven't mentioned today. I'm curious to hear what phrases, what other phrases are out there being used, limiting people to move forward. As always, this is a deep work. It has to be on subconscious level. You cannot just override anything on unconscious level. It's a good start. Awareness, it's probably the best start, but then you have to dig deeper. In my practice, I use rapid transformational therapy, and I really, for the years, I really continue to use that therapy because it goes straight to the root cause. It goes straight to the moment, to that one thing that happened in your life. And it's not about the event that happened, it's more to the beliefs that you attach to that event that actually are preventing you. Uh, Unfortunately, I cannot demonstrate this here on Insight Timer because it requires hypnosis. But I invite you to join me. I have through entire month of January, I have taste sessions that you can book through my website. If you go to revealedmind.com and then events, you'll be able to see it. I have different options for different time zones. Then I'll be doing this for entire month of January. Then in February, we'll be talking about love, and when it comes to money blocks related to love. And then in March will be happiness and money blocks that are related with happiness and that are preventing us to show up and be happy as nature intended us to be. So if any of those are interest to you, you can find out more on my website under events. If you join us later and this topic is still in interest to you, you can go to my YouTube channel, Revealed Mind, and find the replay for this, as well as the replay for some of the past events. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. Next week, I usually come up on Friday and do an hour-long talk. This next week will be on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be here on Insight Timer for a short time, for 30 minutes, to answer questions. So please join me. Let's see if I can share a card. Also, you can just, that also will give you opportunity to stay connected and be notified when the next talk is coming. But the generational cycle part 2, money blocks part 2, it's scheduled for next week. So that one, it's already done, and you can come join me. All right, let's see what have you heard? What thoughts and beliefs you discover in this visualization? Annie, thanks, Diana. A good reminder. Money are energy flow. Yes. It's just, you have to allow it. You have to allow it. It's that simple. It's just breathing in and breathing out. You cannot just breathe in or breathe out. You have to have this transaction, which is a good thing. And learn your price. Don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth. Don't be afraid to spend money on yourself. You have to fulfill that self-care in order to show up in life and be successful. I live in the ghetto after leaving the cult. There was a strong sentiment against people with money, snobs, etc. Noni, it sounds like you have a lot of thoughts and beliefs to sort out, and I encourage you to sit with it and listen and literally be your own detective and find out everything that surfaces. Find out where this is coming from. Is it true? How do you know it's true? Is it your thought or somebody else's thought? And if it's somebody else's thought, definitely question it. Definitely question it, because sometimes we adopt or we hang into somebody else's thought And they may be true for them, but it's not true for us. So work on it, dig in and find out what exactly is. Because you today, it's not you surviving this time. You're a completely different person. But you're here today because your inner child being so smart to do something to keep you here and present. But again, be fascinated of this work and go and find out, be curious, and of course, if you want, and dig in deeper and deeper. I By digging deeper for myself, I figure out that I never knew my dad. He passed at 61. I never knew him because he held to a lot of trauma, trying to protect us from all of this. And he did to a certain point, but actually all of that took his life. So it's never too late to become curious and become your own detective and start digging in and finding out and start actually allowing yourself to live from who you are here, what you're here to do, what is your purpose, what is your full potential, not the labels that people put on you. Remove those labels, allow yourself to live. I had such a hard relationship with money. This is the first time I've been able to listen to a talk about it. It used to give me great discomfort to even talk about. I'm very grateful for your way of discussing this. Thank you so much, Noni. It really means a lot to me as well. And I understand where you're hurting. I also want to encourage you that you're not alone and you're not broken. You just have to collect yourself and activate the real you, because living from with other people's beliefs, it's preventing you from living from who you are. It's pretty much living on autopilot. Encourage yourself to get the hold of the steering wheel and actually be in charge. I'm ready to explore finally. Yes, great. Come join me on one of those events. You will love it because it's fascinating how quickly you go to that root cause event that is spinning in your mind. And sometimes we think we know what is it, but we really don't. That's the interesting part. And it's very interesting to find out more. So come join me. Oh, I'm absolutely happy that I can be in help, and I can, and what I'm talking about, it's really making sense and resonating with you. So that's amazing. That's very, very great. For those of you who are curious, I just to make this more normal, I really like a guy who has a YouTube channel. It's his name is Ramit Sethi. I'm not affiliated with him in any way. I just really watch his channel in a way to see how many people are struggling with money beliefs. And while here seeing the big picture, and then us, the therapist, and the background, help people to resolve those surfacing beliefs that comes with money, it's very it helps you normalize the topic of money, that you're not alone, you're not struggling alone, and not knowing what to do with money. It's not just you, there's so many more people, but it's important to be awakened and start taking care of, because you can collect that energy. It's available to all of us. Yes. He is having a channel and talk money for couples. He also had 2 books. They're incredible, all of them. The working book, the workbook is also very good. It's a great way to start. It's a great way to learn how to navigate budget and money in general. But you have to work with a therapist in order to figure out those limiting beliefs on the back end. Or if you want, you can do it yourself. It's just gonna take you much longer. All right, thank you very much everyone for joining. I'm over my time. I'm apologizing for this. And also thank you for sticking around. I'm very grateful for you being here with me today and looking forward to have you again next week when we continue to talk about money, limiting beliefs about money, different thoughts that are limiting us as well, and generational cycles. It's Ramit Sethi. I posted in the chat above. Ramit Sethi, it's Money for Couples, I believe, and you can find it. All right, bye-bye everyone. Have a nice weekend, and I'm looking forward to see you again next week. Stay healthy.